Welcome back, guys. It's Z with the Motivated Moneymaker YouTube channel. And I know it's been a while since I last posted my video. However, I have been busy these last couple of months, to say the least. But I am back and better than ever and ready to provide you with some better content. And kicking us off, I'm starting with a 4-part series called the Upwork Starter Pack. And in this series, I'm going to go through how to get your profile set up all the way to how to set up a cohesive framework where you can continuously win projects. And in part 1, I'm going to go over the profile and how to set it up. And I'm also going to go over sample bios so we can start picking and choosing what may or may not work for you. Right? And again, I just want to stress this. I am not a coach by any means. However, if you are new to Upwork and you're just trying to figure out how to get this all started and you're just looking for a little guidance or somewhere to start, then this is the perfect video for you. And with that being said, let's get part 1 started. Right, and before I get started with part 1, just real quickly, I just want to let you guys know that all the parts to the series will be posted all at once, so you don't have to wait for another part for another week or another couple hours. If you want to get this started immediately, you most certainly can, and you'll have those resources available to do so. Right. So the first thing you want to do is, if you don't have a profile or an account, you want to go to Upwork.com and get your account set up. That's a relatively easy process. You'll just be really setting up your payments, how you want to get paid, your W-9, and things along those lines. So for the most part, that's fairly easy. And if you ever want to just find your settings again, you just click on your little icon right here. It'll bring down a drop-down menu, and you'll just go to your settings. And once your account for the most part has been set up, you are ready to start one of the most important steps in starting your Upwork career, I guess I should say. You want to start your profile. And so the first thing you'll notice here on my profile, since I've already had mine set up, you'll notice I do have a profile picture. And I don't think I've ever seen an account that doesn't have one. And if you are a little hesitant about adding one, I completely understand, because when I first started, I didn't think I wanted to add one. But the thing about having a profile picture is that it allows clients to see who they're working with, even if they don't have a picture themselves. You'll see that a lot of clients that don't have pictures, but freelancers that do, they just want to see who they're working with. And it's just one picture. Just find, I would say, I guess, your Sunday best, and just go with it and just leave it as it is. And just real quickly, I'm going to talk about this availability button. It's not a requirement for you to have it on. It is something that they have just recently started. And when it does, it just allows clients to see that you are available to work on projects now. And for the most part, I initially was not a big fan of this available now button because it does cost connects to use it. I will say this, however, though, since I have started using it, I have seen that more people have been coming to my profile because of it. So if you don't mind spending connects, I would say it is something for you to most certainly take a look into. It's not required, and even before this button was a thing, I was still getting projects. So again, not required, but if you don't mind spending the connects for it, you most certainly can. I'm currently using about 10 connects this week for it. But after you look at this top part, the next thing you really want to look at is the profiles. And with Upwork, you can have multiple profiles, with the max being 2. When I first started, they only had 1, but now that you can do 2, if you only have 1 starting out, normally there is a plus button right here where you can add a new profile. But since I've already had both of mine created, if I ever wanted to just edit them, I would just go over here, click these little pencil icons, and start editing them. And then going down even further, you'll start seeing your earnings, and then right here on this left sidebar, you'll start seeing what looks like things you would see in your resume. So like languages, or not verifications, but education and a bunch of other things as well. And your profile, for the most part, it does serve as your resume on Upwork, and that's why even when you go to submit projects, you'll see that little note on the bottom, do not submit a resume, because your profile, once you've already submitted your proposal or your cover letter, it's going to send this profile along with that cover letter to that client. So for the most part, it just serves as your resume. And so you do want to fill it out to the best of your abilities. Even right here, you'll see a portfolio section. So if you have like book covers, posters, designs, things you've done, or even videos you may have even created, you can just post them right here. And this is great to give clients an idea of, what work you've done, what your work may look like at the end, and it may help them decide whether or not you're the person they're looking for as well to help them with their project. So again, fill out to the best of your ability. Some of this may not even apply to you. I know I could fill out just about all of these if I wanted to. I should add a portfolio, but that's probably another time, maybe even another video. So the main thing you really want to focus on in your profile is the bio, because this is your chance where you get to put into words what your experience level is and how you can use your experience to help these clients with their projects. And so I'm going to pull up a document that I've compiled a couple of sample bios, and I'm going to go through each of them, pick them piece by piece. All right, and so I do it based off level. I do have beginner, I have an intermediate, and then I also have expert. So I'm going to go through each bio in that level. And so let me pull up that Word document. Okay, so starting off, we have beginner, and this is someone with little to no experience, whether that would be on the platform or in the field itself. And they're really completely reliant on their skills for the most part. Now, when you start seeing these percentages here, these are not any scientific or factual numbers. These are just how I would see someone proportioning their bio based off these kind of, I would say, attributes or sections, rather, of the bio. And so the first thing is experience. And unlike the other two levels that I'm going to be going through in this video, experience for a beginner, if they really don't have any work-related experience, will be experience in relation to their skill set. And what I mean by that is, like, if you maybe went to a coding camp and you worked on projects there, that's what I mean experience. So I did this project at a coding camp, I learned such and such, and that's kind of what experience is. You don't have experience in the field, but you have experience working on projects that aren't work-related, really. So that'll be 40% of the bio. So it's not going to be much. As you start getting into the intermediate and expert, you're going to see that this is going to increase quite a bit, especially in expert. Following experience would be skills. And skills for the beginner is like right up there with experience, because where someone may be lacking experience, their skills are going to have to make up for that. So that'll be about 30%. Interest is not very important. It just really enhances the bio and really lets clients get to know who they may be working with in the future and what they currently like, and again, get to know them. Goals will be about 20%, and I think goals are an underrated part of the bio, because it really shows clients that you're about growth, that you're always looking to improve, and that's never a bad thing to show a potential client. Right? So I'm going to read through each of these bios as well, just real quickly. So it starts off with the introduction. Hi, this is Abantika. I'm a professional editor and book critique. I can edit or beta read your manuscript and provide you with prompt reviews and analysis. I'm just good at developmental editing, beta reading, line editing, copy editing, proofreading, and manuscript evaluation. I will polish your writing and better structure to engage more readers. With over 3 years of experience under my belt, I will assist you in developing your story to its potential and provide suggestions on edits and rewrites, along with detailed editorial feedback. My feedbacks will address structure, flow, voice, readability, language use, and anything else I find that might help you enhance your story. I will assess the marketability of the book and suggest edits to reach the desired audience. Genres I have extensive experience in: romance, all subgenres and heat level, fantasy, young adult, literary fiction, mystery, thrillers, memoirs, nonfiction. Genres I avoid working with: graphic horror and true crime. Okay, so let's break down this bio real quickly. Right, so here you'll see her introduction. She starts with her name, and she really starts with what is it that she does and what she can do for the clients. And then following after this introduction, you're really going to see she starts getting into her skill set, what she does. So developmental editing, beta reading, line editing, copy editing, proofreading, and manuscript evaluation. So these are things that she's good at. And so the main difference here is that she does have experience in the field. She just may not have too much experience on Upwork. And so she does go into a long list about what she can do for the client. And I would even make the suggestion for this bio to list it out. For the most part, the bios that have, or the freelancers that have $100,000 or more made on the platform, they do use a lot of, or not a lot of bullet points, but they do utilize them. And so, because it kind of allows them to like list out instead of having to read, from left to right, they kind of just go down the list of what you can do. So that would be my suggestion. Again, this isn't bad in and of itself. If you don't want to list it out, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But yeah, she does go into her experience a little bit more. So what she can do in her introduction, skills, her experience. And then these are things she would or wouldn't do. So even though I'm looking at this beginner, she really doesn't express too much in regards to goals. Again, these are not requirements. These are not set in stone ways you should be writing your bio. These are just ways I think would enhance the bio and how you should help in really structuring how to write your words and how much you should focus on in the bio. But again, this is not bad at all. I think it's very good, especially for a beginner profile. She does hit the introduction really well with who she is, what she does, and she also is really good right here with what her skills are. So I think for the most part, it hits just about 3 of the 4. And again, I think it's a great beginner profile to take a look at and then start taking pieces of it and trying to figure out how do you want to write yours. So the next level after beginner is the intermediate. And so this is someone with some experience, and this may be either on the platform or in the field as well. And they do have a couple of projects under their belt, along with a couple of good reviews. And so the main difference you'll see between the intermediate and the beginner is that their experience is going to be work related because they do have projects that they've completed. And it will jump from 40% to about 50%. Now the wording is going to be maybe a little bit more different as well because again, it will be work related. Skills will be 30%, same as before. It's a great compliment to the experience. And interest will get a little lower, get 5%. Again, it's not the most important part of the bio. It just really shows who you are as a person and kind of let the clients get a feel of, what kind of freelancer they may be working with in the future. And goals, it does jump from 20% to 10%, mainly because the experience has jumped and skills have stayed the same. So it's going to be less of a focus because your experience is going to start doing more of the talking in the bio. Okay, so this is my sample bio for the copy editing. So just real quickly, my name is Zephanasia Lewis, and I look forward to working with you. As an enthusiastic reader and writer, I enjoy every opportunity I get to help new and experienced authors develop a captivating and memorable story by reducing the errors and mistakes that may take away from the clarity and consistency of a written piece. I have experience editing the following: memoirs, autobiographies and biographies, romance novels, science fiction novels, fantasy novels, murder mysteries, thrillers, or paranormal thrillers, and children's books. I've worked as a copy editor, proofreader, developmental editor, and beta reader for authors who have written in various genres. My main goal as your editor is to ensure your story, let me fix that, is clear. See, it's always important you always read your work, always read it again. My main goal as your editor is to ensure your story is clear of errors that may obstruct the flow and clarity of your story. I take pride in what I do, and I am eager to provide deliverables of high quality and standard. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so the first thing I do, again, the main thing you always want to have in your bio is that introduction, and I kind of do this little capitalization thing right here just to kind of draw clients into this big, bold, big capital letters. And then it really just it's really more so like a hook. When you're ever writing an essay or something, you always want to hook someone in. And I kind of use this capitalization thing to do so. Right, and then so I kind of go into a little bit of my interest right here. Again, very small. And as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be about 5%. So I think this makes up roughly that percentage of 5%. I'm an enthusiastic reader and writer. I enjoy every opportunity I get to help new and experienced authors develop a captivating and memorable story so I do go into interest. It's again very short, very brief. And then afterwards I start going into the experience. What do I have experience doing? And so right here I have experience working on memoirs, autobiographies, a list of the things I have worked on. So if they ever are like, okay, well, I have a memoir, she has experience working on that, or I have a fantasy novel, science fiction novel, I see she has experience working on that. So again, for the most part, that's going to be about half of your bio for an intermediate. And then following that, I go into my skills. So the way I'm wording it, it may seem more like experience and skills. It really does depend on wording, because up here, right here, where is it? She says I'm skilled. So she is wording it as her skills, whereas down here, it may sound like, for my profile, it may sound like I have talking more of experience. So they do go hand in hand, experience and skill set. This for me is serving as my skill set. I work as copy editor, proofreader, developmental editor, and beta reading for authors who have written in various genres. So I do briefly go into my skill set as well. And then again, roughly 10% main goal as your editor is to ensure your story is clear of errors that may obstruct the flow and clarity of your story. Right? And then lastly, nice conclusion. I take pride in what I do, and I'm eager to provide deliverables of high quality and standard, and I look forward to hearing from you. So you just want to kind of have like a call to action, and you want to always invite them to kind of reach out to you, and you want to do that in both your bio as well as your cover letters, and I'm going to get more into that when I get to part 3 of this series. Right, and lastly, I'm going to go into the expert, and this expert has made over $100,000 on Upwork. And so with experts, they do have great work history and amazing credentials and experience. And just like the intermediate, their experience is really going to be work related. And even with the bio I use for a beginner, their experience was work related for the most part. They do have experience in their field. But in general, with the beginner, for the most part, it may be in relation to the skill set. But getting back to the expert experience, you're going to see a massive leap from 50% with the intermediate all the way up to 70% with the expert. Because as an expert in your field and on Upwork, your experience is going to be doing majority of the talking for you. Because your experience shows, okay, so they've worked with a lot of clients, they've gotten a lot of good reviews, they know what they're doing. And so it's going to make up for just about everything else. Because at this point, these are just enhancing your profile. It's really letting clients know who you are and what else you can bring to the table as well. So skills for the first time in comparison to the other 2 levels is going to go down to about 20%. Still important, but not as important as this experience. Interests and goals. Interest stays at 5%, and goals even goes down to 5% as well. So, and I'm going to take a look at this one. This one is a little bit more on the lengthy end, just mainly because they do have a lot of experience. And taking a look at this bio, the one thing I really like about it is that it really does bring to life. It's a fun kind of bio. It's not boring anywhere throughout it, even though it is long. And he does keep this freelancer does keep you kind of drawn into the profile, or the bio, excuse me. So starting off, he starts off with a review. I can't begin to tell you how happy I am with the wonderful job Alan did. He brought my words to life. Alan did exceptional work throughout his contract. He does the work of 2 writers in half the time. I 9 to 5 scribe children's books, short stories, and rhymes, creating magic with words. When you hire me, I'll treat your project as my own. I'm only happy once I've exceeded your expectations. I've written and edited dozens of children's books, including rhyming books. I'm particularly drawn to stories about travel, human and animal rights, environmentalism. If you like rhymes, find my 2 children's albums, Room for Dessert and Seconds by Alan Bow, on Bandcamp or wherever you stream music. I'm also passionate about writing and editing nonfiction children's books, including STEM books about STEM. I've written a World Atlas for Children, profiled women in STEM to inspire future generations, and collaborated with Bill Nye on a space book. Beyond children's writing and editing, I've also edited dozens of poetry books, written or edited over 20 memoirs, coached memoir writers, and written sleep stories for apps similar to Calm and Headspace. With over a decade of writing and editing experience, your words are in good hands. Get in touch to see what kind of magic I can bring to your project. What I offer: rhyming stories, songs, and poems, children's fiction and nonfiction, STEM books for kids, developmental editing on poetry books, memoirs and autobiography coaching, sleep stories similar to Calm and Headspace. What clients get: fresh, engaging writing, creative solutions, quick delivery, easy interactions with an all-around cool guy. Fun facts: I've traveled to over 60 countries. I'm a certified scuba dive master. I recently adopted a staff. Favorite authors and inspirations: Dr. Seuss, Roald Dahl, Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume, Jeff Kinney. Read it all the way here and not sick of me yet? Check out my sample of children's stories below. If you have any questions or you'd like to know about my current availability, invite me to your job and I'll get in touch soon. Right? For the most part, I think this is a great bio. It's really captivating all the way through, and it really highlights his experience. As I mentioned earlier, just about 70% of this is his experience. And so in the introduction, I really like this as well. I think it's a great introduction, a way to do an introduction, by having some of your reviews up there showing that people are happy with the work you have produced. And so after he gets through showing us his reviews, the next thing he really goes into is what is it that he does, and then and so for the most part, that's how you always want to start as well. You want to start your bio with what is it that you do, and then you want to follow up really with what your experience is. And for the most part, I believe going into these other bios, that's exactly how the beginner had theirs set up, as well as how I had mine set up. And so experience, it goes all the way really from right here all the way up to what he offers. I really like how he sets this up, because I also have, this is really more set up as my experience, but what I would maybe even add to mine now looking at their bio, I may add what clients would get from working with me, and that would really go a long way in my opinion. I might actually even I should do that, because now they know, okay, well, I've been getting a lot for this, and this is exactly what I'm looking for from a freelancer. Okay, maybe I'll reach out to them. And also, like right here, so interest, this is about the 5%. Instead of doing interest, is really fun facts about them. And this is still good enough as well, because it now, again, allows clients to see exactly who they're working with and get a feel for that. And I also like how he did his favorite authors and inspirations, and it kind of adds on to the fun facts. And lastly, I like how he concluded it. It's a good way to conclude this very captivating bio. We're all the way here. You're not sick of me yet. Check out my sample children's stories below. And just like in mine, again, mine is very different, but he has that call to action. Check out the sample of children's stories below. Have any questions or you'd like to know about my current availability, invite me to your job and I'll get in touch soon. So that call to action is very, very important. If it's not, maybe check out a link to some of my other projects, some of the other things I've worked on, or invite me to one of your jobs, one of your projects. You always want to have that call to action at the end of your bio. And so yes, that is these are all the bios I have compiled. And what I would suggest when you're first starting writing out your bio, take a look at some of the sample bios from people who are doing well and the people who are in the position that you are currently in. So if you're beginner, intermediate, or expert, look at all the levels, samples from each level, and then start picking and choosing pieces that would work best for your bio. Again, your bio is never always going to be the same. I just recently updated my bio, which is this one right here, like about 1 to 2 weeks ago. So it wasn't, I originally didn't have this right here. It was just paragraph and paragraph. And what I do like about my bio, or what I've recently done, and I think this freelancer does great well as here, is that when you have multiple paragraphs, it's kind of a nice break. You don't want to just have paragraphs on paragraphs of words. You kind of want to have, okay, a paragraph, and then what is that I can offer? What skills do I have? Some kind of like bullet point or a list. It does great in kind of separating and keeping it from getting like really block text like. Alright, so again, just really take a look into some of these sample bios on Upwork. There's a lot of great bios out there. There's never one way just to write a bio. And start picking and choosing what may work best for you and what may help you start really putting into words what your skills and experiences are, and how you can use those to help future clients or potential clients. Thank you guys so much for joining me for part 1 of this series, the Upwork Starter Path. And in the next part, I'm going to go over how to find the right projects, as well as how often one should be applying for them. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you can be the first one to know when I upload a new video.